How's it going, everybody? Akibana Zero here, and I'm back with another RWBY Volume 8 review. This is a spoiler-heavy review. I am going to talk and analyze a fair bit about what happened in Volume 8, Chapter 2, titled Refuge. So if you have not watched Chapter 2, or even if you have not watched Chapter 1 of Volume 8, or if you're just not caught up with RWBY at all, just stay away from this video. If you want to hear a quick spoiler-free review before you watch the episode this coming Saturday, or whenever you watch it, you can hit up over there, or over there, and that's my spoiler-free review, so go check it out. And if you want to support the channel, go check it out anyway. Get a prelude to what you're going to hear here. As an episode overall, I'd say it was pretty good. I did feel like there were some lulls. I've said this in my spoiler-free review as well, but I feel that still RWBY needs to be a little bit snappier as a show in terms of its storytelling, and not only just its storytelling, but I would say the different beats that we go through in the storytelling. So like every moment that happens has to have some significance. When you have like so little real estate to work with, and you have so many characters and so many big events occurring, I do feel that the story should have like some kind of faster pace, or at least some fun or interesting things happening a little bit more often. One of the things that this is going to be a problem with when it comes to having such a dark toned volume is that we're going to have a lot of these low tone instances, like the ones that we had towards the second half of Volume 7, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on how you view the storytelling in RWBY. For me personally, I'm very excited on the one hand to see what is happening. On the other, I feel I'm losing something from that original charm that attracted me to RWBY to begin with. Again, like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad show, just to be clear about that. I'm just saying that I wish we could go back to something a little bit that feels a little bit more fun. And I think that generally is what makes the show extremely engaging, is when you have that combination of very extravagant, very big, very acrobatic fights in combination to some very fun and quirky and silly moments as well. But I'm getting a little bit too deep into this aspect, so let's go back to the review of the episode. I can chit chat about generally RWBY in another episode. Generally this episode cements the first episode's ideas that things are getting very dark. Things have taken a very dark turn, especially when you consider the fact that Ironwood made a big statement in Chapter 1, and he is absent in this episode. We don't see him at all, and I think that actually works very well. It makes things extremely ominous on the one hand. On the other, it's kind of indicative of how much real estate they have to play with. But I still think it's effective to not see Ironwood here. We're still all kind of right now letting that scene sink in, which is, it's still at this point, I mean, I'm still replaying it in my head, and it just feels so, that is just so sad, actually. I mean, to see such a powerful figure like completely lose it, just go full dictator at this point, because he doesn't feel like he can trust anybody anymore. Now, the other thing that really is going to stress me out quite a bit, because I do feel this is going to be a stressful volume, is Penny. And Penny is going to be a very interesting character in this volume, I feel. Like here in this episode today, we just saw her having lots of doubts. She was having a lot of thoughts about Ironwood and the things that he told her, and that's all like things that are casting some negative feelings in her. And this is very interesting, but also very sad at the same time, for a couple of reasons. First of all, Penny is always that happy, that fun, that quirky character who's like a robot who doesn't totally get our ways as humans, right? Even though she does have aura, she kind of, in a sense, has a soul. She's still a robot, and that, I think, is what makes her have such a childlike nature. And I think that's what attracts a lot of us to Penny, at least to me, at least. That she is a robot that's very powerful, has a lot of powers, is very strong, but she also is very childlike in her behavior. And that first time that we see her die, quote unquote, was just heart-wrenching, right? It's just, whoa, wait a minute, what are you doing here, right? And that was the prelude to everything going to shit and it making RWBY do a complete 180 in its tone. The other thing about Penny now, and that is also what makes things very stressful about Penny, is that we're probably going to see something very bad happen with her in this volume. Probably. I mean, first there is a little bit of that moment in the intro, which could mean nothing, or it could mean everything, where she's standing there and the glass behind her shatters. And that could mean a bunch of things. It could mean that somebody hacks into her, cracks her code, so to speak, or that it could mean that her world is completely shattered. Like she thought that, she's the protector of Mantle. She is the guardian of everything. She's powerful. She's everybody likes her, everybody trusts her, and now suddenly she's finding herself in the middle. And there's this thing that she says where she says that I don't like seeing friends fight. And she's specifically talking about Winter and Ironwood and how they are kind of, stepping away and making her choose between Team RWBY, who she trusts and she loves them very much, and at the same time choosing between them and Ironwood himself. This could be very traumatic for her, and I wonder if that is going to lead to some kind of darker version of Penny, or if it could lead to some kind of, hack happening to her and turning her evil or turning her against Team RWBY. I don't know. It's there's a lot that could happen with Penny right now, and that is going to be very worrisome, considering that we've already seen her die once. And that begs the question, is there anything worse for a character than death? I think we're about to find out in this volume. This episode had a few fun moments. I really, really loved Yang's grin as she rode the hover bike, which was just priceless. It was nice. And this is what I talk about when I say that I wish the show would have a little bit more fun moments like this. You can still have a dark show without, losing some of that lightheartedness, right? It's just if you inject a few of these fun moments here and there, I feel RWBY actually really works very well as a show. Not that it doesn't work right now, but I do feel like there's a contrast sometimes. But again, I'm getting too deep and too philosophical about this. The other nice fun scene was where where basically the other side of the team that has gone their way with Weiss and Nora and with RWBY and Penny, they're at this Schnee Dust Corporation location, I guess, with some tubes, and Nora presses a button, which is funny, and gets Weiss sucked in a tube, and that was just nice. It was nice to have like these little silly, jokey, lighthearted little moments there. But the big thing that happens in this volume is the Grimm 2.0, as I like to call it. This Grimm started off as a regular four-legged dog, wolf, whatever you want to call it, type of Grimm, and then he suddenly goes all Weregrimm and becomes a bigger Grimm on two legs and is holding on to Oscar, using him as a shield. And suddenly you're wondering to yourself, wait a minute. Because I was like, this was ticking in my head, wait, Grimm aren't this smart. And then Yang says that Grimm are not supposed to be that smart. And then it hits me. It's like, this is not an ordinary Grimm. and then it kind of speaks as well, and then it sprouts wings, and it's like, what the hell is going on now? And this just kind of changes everything. Like, up until now for us, like, seeing them fight the Grimm has always kind of been a bit of an easy peasy kind of situation, and unless the Grimm are in overwhelming numbers, they're usually quite easy for our hunters and huntresses to deal with. But when you have now Grimm that are smarter and can start, thinking of strategies and thinking of ways to manipulate you and stuff, that becomes a lot more precarious. And that actually raises the stakes quite a bit, because now the enemy isn't just overwhelming in numbers, they could also be smart and intelligent, and that's not going to be good. Now, I don't think we fully know how these Grimm are being created, but this could also mean that even we might even see a character die at the hands of a Grimm. That would be like really huge to see, because I'm pretty convinced that in this volume someone's gonna bite the big one. My money's on Ironwood. At least if there's gonna be one character die, I think Ironwood is for sure. Although who knows how that might go? Maybe an epic, hopeless showdown with Salem or something. But that's kind of like, my off the top of my head prediction, which I hope doesn't happen. I really would rather see Ironwood get some redemption and finally find some happiness. That would be a satisfying ending for Ironwood, so to speak. We'll have to see how it plays out. I did really like the shield that the nade shield. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, this little device that John tossed and it created a barrier. That was really cool. And I imagine that's one of the toys that Pietro has given them from the previous chapter. So I wonder what other kinds of toys we're going to be seeing, because it's always nice when, the heroes of the show get some upgrades. A few random thoughts, but I did notice that Ren got a bit explicitly agitated when John was trying to encourage him to keep going with his semblance. And I mean, we do know that there's going to probably be some kind of rift between Ren and Nora, and I wonder what that means for Ren specifically. I think that particular scene kind of puts it in that direction that something might happen with Ren. Nora, on the other hand, also when they're talking, when there was like this moment where they were talking about their friends, Nora had this look on her face. It's like, yeah, some friends. Generally, overall, it was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It had some very nice moments in it. But what did you think of the episode? Who do you think might bite the big one in this one? Are you as stressed about Penny as I am? Please leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know how you feel. And if you enjoyed the review, please leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel because it helps a lot. I'd like to tip my hat over to my hat gang over at twitch.tv/Akibana0, where I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 8:30 p.m. UK time. We have a pretty nice time over there. We play games, we have chats. If you want to come chat about RWBY or anything else, come and join. It's a good time. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.